everybody. Welcome to the Reading Nook, where I talk all about cozy mysteries, suspense, thrillers, and any other books that I happen to be reading. If you're new to the channel, thanks so much for visiting. If you're a returning viewer, so happy to see you again. My name is Jane, and on today's video, I am going to review the first 3 books that I chose to read for the Cozyup Readathon. I'll leave timestamps in the description below, so that if you've already read a particular book, you can skip ahead to hear my thoughts on it. Stick around at the end of the video where I will reveal the next 3 books that I will be reading for the Readathon. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. So the first book I read was Blood on the Water by Anne Perry, and this is number 20 in the William Monk series. This was for the prompt cozy and audiobook format. And this novel is set in Victorian England around 1869 when the Suez Canal was being built, and the main character is William Monk, and he's the commander of the river police. Now, this book starts off with an explosion on the Princess Mary, and it kills a lot of people. It kills at least 200 people. And at first, Monk is not given the case to investigate, but when he finds evidence that the suspect, an Egyptian national, was somewhere else at the time of the explosion, he's given the case over to investigate. Now, he's helped in his investigations by his wife Hester and their friend Oliver Rathbone, who was a lawyer, to solve the case. Now, early on in the book, there is a court case, but while Hester, Monk, and Rathbone are trying to figure out what's going on. And what I liked about this book is that Anne Perry's writing is really descriptive. She writes it in a way writes emotion in a way that's not cliched or contrived at all. And the women in the book, and even in the series, aren't typical Victorian women. They have opinions and careers which is not typical at all of the Victorian era. And this book is narrated by David Kalachi, and I really like his narration. He voices the characters in a way that's not overdone or forced. So what I mean is that he voices a character who might be 20 years old, not in a way that sounds like a 5-year-old at all. And so I give this book 4 wontons out of 5. If you like history and wanting to know what life was like in the Victorian era, and also a good mystery, I would highly recommend this book and this series. The next book I read was Mrs. Jeffries and the Mistletoe Mix-Up. This is number 29 in the Mrs. Jeffries mystery series. And this was for the prompt cozy by an author you have already read before. And this is also set in Victorian England, and it starts off with Daniel McCourt. He is an antique collector, and he's having an argument with his wife over firing a maid who accidentally chipped a very valuable Oriental plate. Now, he doesn't get the last say in the argument because they're about to have people over to view this latest piece that he's recently acquired. And we next see McCourt in his study. He's angry because he was interrupted in revealing this newest acquisition. And he notices that one of his antique swords has gone missing. And someone comes in and tells him that everybody is outside, there's nobody that can hear you, and you won't suffer too much. This person has his missing sword, and he proceeds to cut him on both sides of his neck, nicking his arteries, and it kills him. Inspector Witherspoon is called in to investigate the murder, and what he doesn't know is that his servants are also investigating the case as well. And each servant does their part, and they pass on their information to Mrs. Jeffries, who is his housekeeper, and who passes it along to him. And with that, nudges him into the direction of who actually committed the murder. I really like this book. I give this book 4 wontons out of 5. The mystery is really well laid out, and the characters are really well developed. They're all like a found family. They really care about each other, and they also care about Inspector Witherspoon. And Witherspoon is not like a typical employer. Who tells his servants what to do, and they're not allowed to question his decisions. He respects them. And because of that, they love him, and they also respect him as well. I would highly recommend this series. The mystery is great, and the characters, they develop throughout the entire series, so I would definitely recommend this book. The next book I read was Father's Day Murder by Leslie Meyer. This is number 10 in the Lucy Stone series. This is for the prompt cozy with the word murder in the title. And the main character is Lucy Stone. She is a reporter for the Penny Saver, which is a local paper in Tinker's Cove, Maine. And she's invited to a newspaper conference in Boston. So she leaves her husband Bill and her 4 kids at home while she goes to this conference, and she's feeling a little bit guilty because it's Father's Day. So at the conference, one of the attendees, Luther Reed, is having an argument with his son Junior in front of everybody at the conference. And later on, later at that night at a banquet, has what looks to be like an asthma attack and collapses and dies. And so Lucy takes it upon herself to investigate what happened. I found this book okay. I gave it 3 wontowns out of 5. I found I was getting confused by the characters. I didn't know how they related to each other, and I found the reveal a little bit underwhelming. But I found the book to be a quick read, though. Got through it in a few hours. And the death happens within the first 100 pages of the book, which I like, because I don't like reading a lot of fluff chapters to see who's going to die in the book. And that's going to do it for this video. Please post in the comments below if you read any of these books and what you thought of them. Stay tuned for part 2, where I'm going to review the next books that I'm going to read, which are Death by a Hot Apple Cider by Alex Erickson, Lee Perry, the Skeleton Haunts a House by Lee Perry, and Class Reunions Are Murder by Libby Klein. If you want to be notified when I post this video, please click on the notification bell. If you like the video, please click on the like button, and to subscribe, click on the subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.